Ever wonder why getting your car towed costs so much? Or what the insurance companies don't want you to know after a crash? I spent 35 years in the towing industry, 15 of those building and running companies, and now that I'm out of the game, I've got nothing to hide. I'm giving you the insider advice you need with zero conflict of interest. Be warned though, the stories get raw, just like some of the crash scenes I've been to. I've never been everyone's cup of tea, which is fine by me. I drink coffee anyway. Grab a mug and listen up. You're on the hook with Aussie Tow Talk. Hey guys, welcome to Aussie Tow Talk. For those who have been following my channel for quite some time, you'll see a lot of videos of where I did a lot of towing and recovery, especially the four-wheel drive stuff, and that is still on my YouTube channel. But I retired from the towing industry a couple of years ago, and I've been debating actually what to do with the channel. To be honest with you, I really didn't know what I was going to do with it. Was I going to keep it up, or was I going to tear it down and concentrate on a new project, right? But then I saw this. Be informed about tow truck drivers after an event, and I don't even know how it came across my Facebook page, but it came across my Facebook page, and I thought, oh, this looks kind of interesting. I'll have a look at this, right? And so you can see there, this is from Suncorp Insurance, big insurance company, right? And they own a lot of other insurance companies. I'll name a few of them. So there's Shannon's, there's Amy, there's Apia, there's also Budget insurance, not to be confused with Budget Direct, but Budget Insurance, and a couple of others. Okay, so they own a couple of major insurance companies, and it all comes under the AAI or the AAI banner. Okay, so getting back to this here, and it's quite recent, 30th of May 25. I did do a search for some updates, and there was no updates. So if you've ever had an accident, it's normal to feel shaken. That's true. But this is also when some tow truck drivers might try and take advantage of the situation. They may pretend to work for your insurer even when they don't. Okay, so let's sort of clear that up, because that can be interpreted a couple of different ways, right? So whenever I went to a crash, I never said I work for the insurer, right, ever. But I said I'd done work for the insurer previously. Okay, so the way I look at it is, as soon as you get a claim number, you're working for the insurer from then on in, or from there on in. But up until that point, you're working for the owner, and in some instances, even when you get a claim number from the insurance company, you're still working for the owner, and I'll get into that a little bit later on. These dishonest operators can cause big problems. They might delay your claim, charge extra fees, or even create legal issues. Okay, so as a towing operator, there's no way we can delay the claim. We just can't. It's impossible. So that's a load of shit. And they need to change that wording there. So your claim is controlled by yourself, the insurance company, primarily by the insurance company, and the repairer. That's it. We have nothing to do with it whatsoever. So I found that to be quite interesting. And then I thought, okay, well, you know what? I might just, have another look and see what else it says. Why it's risky to use an unauthorised tow truck. Now, so a tow truck that arrives out of nowhere might seem helpful, but if they're not approved by your insurer, it can cause trouble. If you're at all unsure, it's best to reach out and confirm their details with your insurer. Okay, well, here's a quick tip, Suncorp. We don't need to be approved by you to attend an accident scene to tow a vehicle. We just need to be licensed and approved by the government body of that state, and it's as simple as that. And insurance companies know this. So that's a load of crap. We don't necessarily need to be a contractor for a specific insurance company to legally tow your vehicle from an incident scene. Pure and simple. In most states, and I'm only gonna talk about the states that I've towed in. Most states are regulated by the government, and they're very strict rules, and we have to abide by them. But here's the kicker: insurance companies have to abide by them too. It's as simple as that. They can't get around that. It's the law. So that is, quite a load of bullpucky right there. you might not know where your car is. So scam tow trucks might take your car somewhere unknown and won't give it back to you until you pay high fees. This can slow down your insurance claim and make your situation worse. Okay, so if you have a crash, and you have a towing operator that comes up to you and you agree for him to tow your car, right? So by law, and not in all states, but in pretty much most states now, even Perth now is regulated. Western Australia is regulated now. We have to fill out a towing authority. We have to abide by specific prices. And we have to clearly outline where the car was picked up from, where it is going. We've got all your owner details and so forth. Or if it's somebody signing on your behalf, like a friend or family member or something like that, we get their details as well. It's all signed and you get a copy. You also get another bit of paper with all your rights explained on it. Okay. Nothing to do with them. But having said that, I'm not going to sit here and say there are no unscrupulous tow truck operators out there, because there certainly is. If you've had a crash and the towing operator is not filling out a towing authority for you, and he should have his license number and everything clearly visible on the towing authority and his truck, then yeah, he's not supposed to be there. If you have any problems, just go to the attending police officer if there's one there. If there's not one there, call them and they'll come out and they'll help you out, okay? So, but to keep it real, these days, very far and few between, okay? You could end up in a legal dispute. Well, you know what? Yes and no, fighting a scam bill and so forth. But here's the thing right now, under these new regulations, if the regulator finds out that an unlicensed tow truck has towed your car and you can prove it, that regulator is going to get penalised, and quite brutally. I think New South Wales leads the department in the hugest fines, followed by a prison sentence. So I know of one operator a few years back, he got a $10,000 fine and 12 months in jail. So it's the ending up in a legal dispute is kind of not correct these days. Maybe 10 years ago. These days, the government's going to jump in and go, no, hang on a minute, you know, you've towed this car without authorization and we're going to ping you for it. So we go on to the next one. And we'll just wait for it to load. Okay, so how to spot a tow truck scam. So be careful when searching online for help. You've just had a crash. The last thing you're going to do is search online, right? Some scammers make their websites look like they belong to real insurers, or make their business appear in search results for known insurers, blah, 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 blah. Don't trust anyone asking for cash right away. Look, that I agree with. Unless your car's uninsured, of course, then we're going to ask for credit card or cash. Cash is legal tender, and we will ask for cash if you don't have a credit card or a bank transfer. So we'll do a bank transfer too, okay? Be cautious if a tow truck shows up without you asking. Some drivers travel in hopes of finding an opportunity to convince people to use their services. Okay, well, we just don't drive around aimlessly. I mean, shit, we'd go broke, especially with fuel prices these days. And be cautious if a tow truck shows up without you asking. Yeah, we chase accidents, right? So when a crash happens, we chase them. Doesn't mean we're up to no good. We've been chasing smashes for years. That's how the industry works. Sometimes we get called by the police to come and tow a car, but other times we hear about it. Somebody might ring us and say, you know, and it could be a previous customer, and they go, hey man, I've just passed this crash. Do you know about it? You know? We could come across it ourselves quite unwillingly. It does happen, I know, right? Or we could hear about it on our radios. So there's many different ways that we can find out about a crash. You look at the say the Vic Emergency app, for instance. It'll come up that there's a crash somewhere, and so we'll go and check that out, right? It's not a matter of, you know, being cautious. It's a matter of basically trying to take your time and work through things. Look, having a crash is a pretty traumatic thing, okay? There's no two ways about it. You'll always know there's a difference between a driver and an operator, okay? A driver's going to get there and he's going to harass you for the car. It's just that to me is a driver, and I've seen plenty of them over the years. An operator is going to wait till you've got most things sorted, and he's going to be concerned more about you than he is about the car. And that's how it works. I mean, that's how I used to do it, and my success rate was pretty good. Plus, I used to get repeat business out of it. So, this here, how to spot a tow truck scam, very far and few in between, needs to be updated, and they're getting a lot of things wrong. Seriously. So, if you have a Suncorp comprehensive car insurance policy, blah blah blah, we help you. If your car's unsafe to drive, they'll cover the reasonable cost. Well, I hate to tell you this, the costings for an accident tow in most states are governed by the government. So nobody has any say in that. The insurance companies don't have a say in that. We don't have a say in that. And I'll go through some of those fees probably in another podcast because there's quite a lot to go through as each state differs between what they charge and how many Ks you get and how much storage you get. Okay. One tow to get your car from the scene to the incident or to our nearest repairer or another location nominated by us, or storing your car. Okay. So when we're at a crash and we sign the towing authority, okay, we work for you. We don't work for them. All right, they pay the bill whether they like to or not because it's in your policy. They have to. It's simple as that, right? But we work for you at the end of the day. So if you've filled out an authority and then you ring your insurance company and they give you a claim number and they say, right, we want the car taken there, I'll ask you where you want the car to go. I had a lady one time whose daughter hit a barrier just near Gisborne on the Calder Freeway down in Victoria there. And so by the time I'd got there, the daughter had gone to work. And the mum was on the phone to the insurance company organising a claim. And so I filled out the towing authority, and she had her own repairer that she dealt with previously in Keilor. So it's probably roughly, say, 20 to 30 Ks, down the freeway. But Suncorp, well, it was Amy, but Amy is owned by Suncorp, but they wanted to take it to a repairer in Ravenhall. And that's a good 50, 60 Ks away, right? And this lady lived in Wood End. Ranges. And, sorry, my microphone just went then. So, and she said, well, what do I do? They're pressing me to go to Ravenhall. And so I grabbed the phone from the lady and I got onto the insurance company and I said, listen, I appreciate you want to take it to your own repairer and I know the reasons why. I said, but at the end of the day, she's filled out an authority for it to go to Keilor. She wants it to go to Keilor and that's where I'm taking it and that's the end of it. So, and then I asked her for a claim number. And she, the person on the other end of the phone, and she was lovely, mind you, don't get me wrong, but she knew there was nothing that she could do because that towing authority is a legal document. Okay, once it's signed, it is up to the owner where that car goes. Where the car goes from Keilor onwards, that's up to the insurance company. They can work that stuff out. But from the scene to where the owner wants the car to go, if it's on the towing authority, that's where it goes. And it's as simple as that. So don't be fooled by any of this rubbish here because that's exactly what it is. It's just rubbish. And if we go to the final one here, right, so what to do if you need a tow after a covered event when you're insured with Suncorp car insurance. So you make your claim, okay, fair enough, and they'll organise a tow, which they'll do. Verify the provider, ensure the tow truck operator or repairer is authorised by Suncorp Insurance if you lodge it online over the phone. They'll be using one of their authorised providers, okay. And they do that, okay, but there's a couple of hiccups there. Victoria has a metro zone, which is an allocation only, so you get an allocated tow truck from an accident scene unless you've driven the car more than 2 kilometres from the accident scene, then any tow truck can pick it up. So that's no problem there. But from the scene, in the metro zone, it must be an allocated tow truck. In the rural area, or the country zone, it must be a licensed tow truck from the scene, unless the vehicle has been driven more than 2 kilometres from the scene, then any tow truck can pick the vehicle up because it's classed as a trade tow then, it's not an accident tow anymore. In New South Wales, I think it's like 500 metres or a kilometre, I'm not too sure, I'd have to look that up. Canberra, look, the last time I towed in Canberra, the police were running the show. It's all different now. They've got their own regulations and so forth. Queensland, I think Queensland is 2Ks as well. I'm not too sure. Let me know in the comments if that's incorrect, but I'm pretty sure it's 2 kilometres in Queensland. So what to take out of this, right? And this is pretty important. You can. It's always a problem when you have a crash, right? Because you've got a million things running through your head at any one time, and quite rightly so. So what do you need to do? Well, firstly, when you have a crash, make sure that you're okay. Check yourself first, and then check everybody else around you. Then check the people in the car that you've had a crash with. If in fact it's a 2-car accident, right? The first thing you should do is see if you've got any neck pain, headaches, did you bang your head against something, etc. If that's the case, ring an ambulance, okay? An ambulance will come to the scene, and by default, they will set the police off in motion as well. And so a police vehicle will be on the way as soon as an ambulance is dispatched, okay? So you've already got emergency services on the way to wherever you are, okay? Don't feel rushed at an accident scene. The professional towing operator will sit back and let the rest of the emergency services do their thing before he or she will come along and give you some options on, how you want to tow your car. You can call your insurance company from the scene if you want to, or you don't have to. It doesn't really matter. I advise that you don't, because it normally creates a bigger problem. In my experience and some of the crashes I've gone to, they've called their insurance companies right in the middle of it all. Next thing you know, the coppers want the cars moved off the road so they can open the road, but you're still on the phone to the insurance company, right? And that creates a problem. Here's a tip, okay? A proper towing operator will explain everything he or she needs to. They'll give you the necessary paperwork that will have all the details of the company, where the vehicle's going to, all your car details, insurance companies, and 99% of the time will say, hey, listen, no rush, go home, have a glass of wine or a brandy or whatever. When you get a claim number, let us know. But go home, relax, kick your feet up. This is where your car's going. You get a copy. Any questions, give me a call. And away you go. Don't feel pressured by actually any insurance company that you have to ring them from the accident scene, because that's just wrong. Ring them when you're good and ready and in a relaxed state, and you've sort of calmed down from the initial shock, of having an incident. That's what you do. A towing service is like any other emergency service. We are there to help, and we've come leaps and bounds, in our business over the years. Okay. So yeah, that's about all I've got to offer on that. I'm going to go a little bit deeper into accident scenes, towing, fees, all that kind of stuff in another video. But if you have any comments, please feel free to leave one, providing any criticism is constructive. Okay, if it's not constructive, I don't want to fucking hear it. Keep your opinions to yourself. If you've had a great experience or a bad experience with a towing company, I'd love to know that too. That would be awesome. Until then, I really want to thank you for this maiden episode of Aussie Tow Talk, and I'm hoping to get another video/podcast up very shortly. So thanks again. I hope you guys stay safe, and whatever you do, drive safe. Bye for now.